Yep. Okay. Go!
Will you hand me my screen box?
Now go preach.
The people of the state of Michigan versus Chase Scruggs 24-03567FY. Appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Matt Nagel for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. Dustin Coons for Chase Scruggs, who's here to my right.
Okay. Today was the date that was scheduled for preliminary examination. I do have one bond violation that we were to address today. I have a new one. The allegations of this bond violation alleges Mr. Scruggs that on or about February 14, 2025, at approximately 1:35, the alleged victim received a phone call from your number. This number was confirmed by her to the officer, and that the officer noted that this is also the number that was identified as yours on S card and S. The victim alleged that she did not answer the phone call. There's also allegations that in January 2025, that the victim received text messages from your mother. The victim's mother received text messages from your mother, a lengthy text message accusing the victim of ruining your life on purpose. So those would be violations of your bond conditions of no contact directly or indirectly with the victim. If you're found to be in violation of your bond on each of these allegations, you could be sentenced to contempt of court. It's 93 days in jail on each, the maximum penalty, and or $7,500 in fines each violation. You understand that? Okay. My understanding is he's entering a not guilty plea, correct? Okay. So any other preliminary matters before we take witnesses?
No, Your Honor. And just, I guess, so the record's clear, my understanding is the court will proceed on the hearing on the new bond violation today. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Your Honor, I apologize. I guess the one thing I did want to put on the record is that the bond violation that we heard for previously with the car being cited outside, I don't think people can meet the burden on that particular one, so we're going to request that we not move forward on that. However, with respect to the new allegations, the people are prepared to move forward. And thank you, Your Honor. And the people call Olivia Winter-Shook.
First, state your first and last name and spell both.
Olivia.
I am going to take you back to October 27th of 2024. Do you remember anything unusual happening that day?
Yes.
Do you remember your address where you stayed on that date?
626.
And is that address in the county of Ingham? Do you know a gentleman by the name of Chase Scruggs?
I do.
How do you know Mr. Scruggs?
We had a relationship and I started together.
How long was your relationship?
And it was on and off for about 4 years.
Can you speak up, please?
It was on and off for about 4 years.
Thank you, ma'am. Would you recognize him if you saw him?
Yes, I did.
Do you see him in court today?
I did.
Can you point to him and identify an article of clothing?
Like, there's a
Your Honor, may the record reflect that you.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Identification's noted.
So on October 27th, did you see Mr. Scruggs that day?
I did.
Can you tell the court about that interaction?
I believe that I had these friends dropped off at home with a friend. I heard some breakfast in my house. I had walked into my bedroom door, and my bedroom window was open. I'm sorry, and my air conditioner was sitting on the floor in my bedroom.
And was there somebody in your bedroom?
Yes, it was.
The defendant was in your bedroom?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think you indicated the window was open and the air conditioning was on the floor?
Yes.
So before it was on the floor, where was that air conditioning?
In the window.
The window that was open?
Yes.
Okay. That address, 6264 Cooper Road. Do you live alone there?
I do.
Has Mr. Scruggs ever shared that residence with you?
Yes, he has.
And prior to October 27th, how long had it been since he shared that residence with you?
Since he lived with me, it had been like a year and a half. But he was over just about every day. Up until probably August and September.
Okay. Does he have a key to your apartment?
No, not anymore.
Did he have a key to your apartment on that day?
No, not that I'm aware.
Did he have permission to be at your home when you were not home?
No.
How do you know? Did he? Had you communicated that to him?
That he was the OL.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I hadn't talked to him prior to that.
Was there any reason, in your opinion, is there any reason he would have had to believe he was allowed to enter your home without present?
No, sir.
At that time, were you two in a relationship?
That must have.
You said he was on again, off again, correct? So at that time, was this an on again period?
At the time, no, but prior. No.
How long prior to that?
My husband had split up about like August. August of this year, or I'm sorry, last year.
So it would have been more than 1 month, but almost 2 months.
Correct.
Okay. All right. So let's go back to the moment. What time of day was this?
It was nighttime. I want to say anywhere between like 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Might have been a little bit earlier. I know it was in the evening, but
It was nighttime?
yeah, it was in the evening. Yes.
And was it late?
Yes, it was dark out.
Okay. Do you remember approximately what time you called the police? You don't remember?
No, I called them shortly after, though.
If I were to show you a statement that you gave to the police that night with respect to what time this incident occurred and when you called the police, do you think that would refresh your memory?
Yes.
Is that yes? Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Handing you the police report with your statement to the police from October 27th. If you could just look it over, read it to yourself, and when you're finished, if you could just look up at me and let me know. Yep. Does that refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take that back from you. Thank you, ma'am. So do you recall what time of night that was, ma'am?
I think that's a 15 hours, I'm not sure, but that's the day of 6 what I think. I'm sorry, I don't recognize the time on there.
So if I were to describe that time in international time as reflecting midnight,
Okay.
do you have any reason to believe that would be incorrect?
No.
Okay.
I did call a little bit after, correct? Yeah.
So it was after midnight on October 27th.
I did call a little bit after.
Okay. And you said you were dropped off. And did you say that you heard something in your home after you were dropped off before you went inside?
As soon as I entered, I heard breakfast coming from my bedroom. So.
Okay. I assume you were surprised to see Mr. Scruggs in your bedroom.
Very.
What happened next?
I was in shock. I just stared at him, and he left immediately out of my door, out of the front door.
Can you explain to the court how he left? What happened when you saw him and he tried to leave the home?
We didn't say anything. We just walked right past him and walked out of the door.
Did he make any kind of contact with you as he walked past you?
No.
You don't remember him touching you?
No.
When with respect to the air condition that was on the floor, was it in that condition before you had left your house earlier that day?
No, sir, absolutely not.
Okay. Were you able to determine how the air conditioning unit might have ended up on your floor?
I believe and wholeheartedly that he pushed it through the window to gain access into my home.
Why do you believe that?
He didn't have a key, and he was standing in my room right next to the air conditioner with the window open.
Was there anything outside that helped support your conclusion?
When the detective or the officer had showed up, she did recognize footprints leading up to my window in the backyard.
Objection hearsay.
What response is the objection?
I'll rephrase your Honor. Did you look around outside in your backyard?
I did not prior, no.
After this incident, did you look outside in your backyard?
I did not until the officer had let me know.
Okay, after the officer let you know, did you go outside and look?
Yes, I did.
Okay, did you see anything outside your bedroom?
It was my daughter's flag that was pushed up to my window, and the footprints that she had spoken about that were large.
Okay. So, you saw the footprints then?
Correct.
And the slide up against your window, is that where you ordinarily keep it?
No,
Where do you ordinarily keep it?
it's by my back door, which is far to the left side of my house.
So as you're looking at the back side of your house, the slide is ordinarily kept to the left of
Far
where your
left.
bedroom window is?
And my bedroom is on the far right on the other end of the house.
So, based on your own personal knowledge of how your backyard is ordinarily kept, did it appear to you that that slide had been moved?
Yes.
What was the condition of your bedroom?
I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary other than some money missing and my AC on the kitchen.
Okay. You said there was some money missing?
I did, yeah.
Did you report that to the police?
I did also, yes.
Okay. How much money was missing?
It was only $20 at the time.
It's what?
It was $20 at the time.
Where were you keeping this money?
I left everything at home, so I just went to my friend in my wallet and just put the houses in my wallet.
Okay.
Which was on my bed. I noted that to the officer as well.
And so while you were out of the house, the wallet was on your bed?
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice anything else missing?
No.
Was there a mess in your room?
No.
Did you notice anything damaged other than the air conditioning unit?
No.
Was the air conditioner operational after that incident?
It just had like a rumbling to it kind of at first.
Does it still work?
Yes.
Okay. No further questions.
Good morning, Ms. Shook. I guess I want to clear up the timeline of this event a little bit, okay? We talked about October 27th, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, now, is it that would the incident that happened, was it the 26th going into the 27th or the 27th going into the 28th?
I believe it was the 26th going to 27th.
Okay, Saturday into a Sunday?
For 4 weeks. So.
And so, if you showed up at your house just before midnight, that would have been October 26th, right? Okay, but if you showed up just after midnight, October 27th. Now, you testified at first on direct examination, you thought maybe this was around 8 or 9 p.m. Okay. You remember talking to a police officer in the early morning hours of October 27th? Right. She showed up quite a bit later, right?
Yes. 2 hours later, she had showed up. They were really busy.
And in fact, you had called even a few hours after noticing Mr. Scruggs in your home. Is that right?
Correct.
You remember telling the officer that it was around 11:30 or 11:40 or midnight when Chase came in?
Like I said, I don't remember the exact time. I was really stunned when I seen him, so I wasn't looking at my phone at the time.
Sure. But do you remember telling the officer that it was around that time?
It could have been around that time. Like I said, it was evening, and so I felt like I could get dropped off late.
If you were to see a portion of your conversation with the officer, would that help refresh your memory about when you told her that Chase came to your house?
I mean, I believe you.
But
Sure, if you want me to look at it, yes, I would.
Your Honor, logistically, I have a video. Would you prefer I put it up on the screen to refresh your memory, or to
A video is the body camera or anything?
body camera?
That's fine. Doesn't matter. You're trying to refresh your recollection of what time she called?
Of when she's saying that my client.
Oh, you can take the computer out.
Sure. I'm playing you a portion of the interview. You're going to be able to hear it, but this is really just to refresh your memory about when you told the officer that Chase got there. So after watching it, starting at 4 minutes, 40 seconds, it'll go for a little bit. I'll pause it, and then can you just let me know if that refreshed your memory? Okay. hold on a second. I'm pausing at 5:16. Did that refresh your memory about what you
Yes,
told
it
the
is. So yes, like I said, it was late at night.
And so, in seeing that, did that refresh your memory that you told the officer that it was around midnight, maybe 11:30, 11:40?
Yes,
All right. And were you looking through your phone to try to figure out the time?
yes, I was.
All right. Do you remember what specifically you were looking at that time?
What time I had called 911
Well, okay.
is what I believe I was looking at.
But you called 911 a few hours after Chase was there, right?
No, I called shortly after, and then she had showed up hours after. So I called hours after. I called, I mean, maybe like an hour after, maybe, but it wasn't too long after. And then she had showed up about early in the morning.
You saying the officer showed up
Yes, ma'am.
hours later?
Yes.
So you did not call 911 at around just before 3 a.m.?
I may have. That was not so good. All
Right.
Like I said, it wasn't too shortly after.
If I showed you some records that from dispatch, which is where 911 calls go, would that help refresh your memory about when you called 911?
Your Honor, I'm just going to place a relevancy objection at the moment, just with respect to, I think the line of questioning is supposed to flesh out exactly what time a 911 call was made. I'm not sure the relevancy to the overall case here.
Well, two things, Your Honor. I think the timeline of events is always relevant, but also Ms. Shook just testified that she called 911 right away. And so if nothing else, as a matter of impeaching credibility on that point, should be able to see this.
Okay. But the objection's overruled.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
So if I showed you call logs from when you called 911, would that refresh your memory about when you called 911?
Yes.
May I approach you?
Yes, but at 2:52 in the morning.
Does that refresh your memory about when you called?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And is that when you called about 2:52 in the morning?
Yes. The officers always come in as long as I make contact within 12 hours of something happening at the report comes. My phone might have been dead at the time, which I'm pretty sure it was, and I did reference that to her, so I called.
Okay. You think your phone was dead at the time?
I'm pretty sure it was. As soon as I had got home, I charged it, and I took the shower.
So you were not.
But I definitely called within this time frame that I should have.
So you weren't calling Chase hundreds of times on the night of the 26th to the morning of the 27th?
Not after that. No, I didn't.
No?
Not that I recall. Not after.
Prior to that?
I may have.
Prior to what? So I can
I'm
have
sorry.
context.
Yes, I'm sorry. Prior to spotting him in your home?
I don't remember. I was still gonna get some questions at the end. I can't remember.
I understand.
That wasn't a question, ma'am. Strike that. My question though is when you say you may have called him prior to, what time frame are you talking about, ma'am? When he asked you if you had called the defendant hundreds of times, he asked prior to, you said you may have, and I'm trying to get time frame.
I don't remember.
You don't remember when? Okay.
And then it was, again, a few hours after even you called 911 that an officer showed up, right?
She said yes.
Yeah.
Just for my clarification, you refresh your recollection. It was at what, 2:52
2:52
in the morning, a.m. or p.m.
a.m. Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Now, among the things you noticed, you saw my client where at in your bedroom, is that right?
Standing right in front of my window in my bedroom.
The window to your bedroom, which again is along the back side of the house.
Yeah.
All right. And you noticed $20 missing?
Yeah.
And you say you reported that to the police?
I should have. I mean, I was also distraught. I don't know what all I mentioned, but she seen my example on the window open and went around the house and looked at everything.
Well, you testified on direct examination that you did tell the police that there was $20 missing, right?
It was in October, I don't remember, but I know I had just realized it.
You said you saw footprints in your backyard after the officer.
Yes, she pointed them out to me
Okay, pointed them out how?
with a flashlight. She told me that she had seen footprints back there in my house slide up against my window.
So
That was open.
I'm sorry, the two of you went in the backyard together?
She had shown me out of my window since it was open.
Okay. So, and then you noticed there was a slide?
Yes.
Okay, that was something you observed?
Yes, she said she moved it back from me.
Okay. But on direct examination, you said that you saw the slide behind your window where Chase supposedly broke in, right?
Yes, once she mentioned it to me, I did see the slide right there.
Right outside your window?
Yes.
Not where she moved it back to?
No. It was right outside my window still, and she said she moved it back for me. She did take photos.
Have you seen those photos?
I haven't.
I'll come back to that in just a moment. You said that you come in, you see Chase, right?
Yeah.
And he just walks past you out the front door?
Yes.
Was there any conversation?
No.
Was it, understanding the air conditioning unit was out of the window, you didn't notice anything else out of place?
No. I was also shocked in the moment of seeing him staring at her. Paying too much attention other than that. Just stuff right away.
Well, not right away, but you had hours to observe the scene after you
I
left.
did, yes.
Okay.
I didn't notice anything.
Okay.
So you didn't notice anything, is what you said?
I did not notice anything, no.
Right. And the AC unit, did you end up bringing that out of your bedroom to the living room?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I drug it out there.
Okay.
So,
Just to.
just to get out of the way. Yeah, and I was gonna close my window.
Okay.
So, but then I wanted to wait for him to report.
And that, this was again October 27th. Was it still warm out? Do you know? Do you remember? I guess let me ask you this: do you normally take your window unit AC out of the window when it starts getting colder?
Yes, I usually don't. I have someone do it for me, so at the time I was waiting for someone to do it.
You said you lived alone at this home, is that right?
I do.
All right. And you do have a dog, right?
I do not anymore.
At the time?
Yes, I do.
Okay. What kind of dog?
I had a German Shepherd.
All right. Is that German Shepherd no chase?
Yes.
Was that dog friendly with Chase or?
He was. Yeah.
Right. So, did
I
you have?
I had a dog at the time. But he was not friendly.
You had to lock up a dog
Yeah.
when the officer came to ask you questions, right?
Correct.
The dog was barking like the entire time, right?
Not when he was there.
So was the dog with you when you were out and about?
I don't remember.
Okay. I get when you go out, you were out with your friends before coming home around midnight, right? Do you normally take your dog out with you?
Okay.
Okay. So you don't remember if your dog was with you or not with you?
I don't recall. I'm sorry.
Do you remember the officer asking you if you've been in contact with Chase in the days leading up to him breaking in?
Yes, I do.
All right. And do you remember telling her something to the fact that your last conversation had just been a few days beforehand?
Yeah, it was quite a couple days beforehand. There was a lot of arguing back and forth, so our conversations weren't too consistent.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Our conversations weren't very consistent at the time. Arguing back and forth a lot.
Well, you told the officer that you hadn't been arguing in the days leading up to the invasion, is that right?
We go back and forth, we've been arguing, so like I said, it's kind of back and forth. We're on good terms and we're on bad terms.
But so your testimony here though is that in the days leading up to October 26th, October 27th, you were arguing.
We may have been, we may not have been. I'm not sure. Like I said, we've been good and we've been bad.
But you testified earlier, like
Your Honor,
a minute or two ago, that you were arguing.
I'm going to object. This is asked.
Well, no, I think it was not. I answered clearly, and I think that's why he's trying to clarify. She answered one way, and then now I may have or may have not, and this all goes to her credibility.
No, I understand, Your Honor. I just
Correct. So, the objection's overruled.
Thank you.
So you testified 2 minutes ago, if that, that you had been arguing with Chase in the days leading up to this home invasion, right?
Because we may have been,
Well, that's not what you said at first, though, is it?
it was in October, so I don't recall. It was tired of it.
Okay,
And
and
I
that,
apologize for that. We bickered back and forth, so I can't tell if the days following back in October if we're on good terms or if we're on bad terms.
do you remember telling the officer who was there interviewing you on the morning of the 27th that you had not been arguing with Chase in the days leading up to this home invasion? Okay, and so we've had a few minutes delay while I'm trying to get the technology working. Where we left off is you did not remember if you told the officer that you and Chase had not been arguing in the days leading up to the home invasion, right? Okay. So I'm playing part of that video starting at 5:30.
Conversation.
Thursday, he was at my mom's house with me.
Okay.
Well, he just showed up there
Okay.
because I had the kids there, and he came to see his daughter for a little bit, and then left. So that was like the most recent time we like seen each other in person and had a conversation like in person or
Yeah.
anything. Which we didn't have an argument then.
Like it was chill.
Yeah, I mean like we didn't really talk much.
Yeah.
But there wasn't.
But there was like no
animosity.
animosity. Yeah. There was like nothing crazy. And then if you guys like texted or anything since Thursday?
A little bit, but
Okay.
not like an argument. I know that previously he did come to my house and like take stuff out of my house, my friends.
All right. So you told the officer that you'd had a little contact with Chase between the Thursday when you two were visiting your child at your mother's house and then the day of the home invasion, right?
Correct. Between them, we did not have an argument.
What's that?
Correct. Between them, watching them, we did not have an argument. Between them.
All right. Now, did you leave a voicemail on Chase's phone on October 25th threatening to kill him?
Nothing.
You said not that you recall.
I don't remember.
Around this time, did you? Well, what? And I don't want to. Fair to say you have a couple matters going on over at the circuit court on Kalamazoo. Is that right? Okay. I don't want to get into the details into those, but did that lead to a custody dispute between you and Chase?
Not necessarily.
Right. Well, what was the situation with your shared daughter?
She was placed with my mother because she said you cannot care for her.
And again, we're not going to get into details, but your daughter wasn't with you either. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, did you learn right around the time of this home invasion that Chase was trying to get sole custody of your daughter?
I did not. I was not aware of that.
Did you learn that prior to that, did Chase owe you child support?
Yes, we did.
All right. Did you learn around then that child support was going to be inverted? Now you would owe child support?
Yes, but they revoked it since he hasn't had her at all.
And she's with your mother, is that right?
Correct.
But-
Does not see her.
I'm sorry. I interrupted. Can you say that again?
He does not see her at all.
The question was, did she's with your mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she did.
But there were some custody issues right around the time of this home invasion complaint. Is that right?
Not necessarily. He was threatening to make sure I didn't see my kids ever again. That was about the only dispute we had.
That's all I have for you. Thank you.
Question. You said that when you saw Mr. Scruggs in your home, that no words were exchanged and then he walked out?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you report that he shoved you at all?
He might have brushed past me when I walked by, but I don't think it was intentional.
Yeah, but that wasn't my question. Did you report that he shoved you?
I don't recall.
So, you can,
Thank you, Your Honor. So, just briefly, I think you on cross-exam, you were asked a lot of questions about some of the details with respect to what you reported.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that October was a long enough time ago that you don't remember every detail?
It's not only that, but it's also there's been a lot of stuff going on between me and him, where it's been a lot of intense police reports, stuff like that. So I don't. It's hard to recall everything and every situation that's occurred.
Okay, fair. On cross, there was some testimony about an ongoing custody issue between you and the defendant, and I'm sorry, it was your daughter, correct?
Yes, so
Okay. And because you share a child in common, you've had regular communication with the defendant regarding your child. Is that fair to say?
I have tried, yes.
Okay. And you said you don't remember, I think on cross you mentioned that you don't remember calling Mr. Scruggs after finding him in your bedroom. Is that right?
I don't believe I did. I might have, but I don't recall. It was a while ago. There's been a lot going on.
Sure, fair to say. If I were to show you your statement to the police that night, would it help refresh your memory as to whether or not you've tried to do that?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach?
yes.
Okay, so I've marked on this police report the part of your statement to the police that night that might help refresh your memory. If you can just look it over silently and then look up when you've finished.
Yes, that makes sense. Yes.
Does that help refresh your memory, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, after having looked at your statement to the police, do you recall whether or not you tried to call Mr. Scruggs after you found him in the bedroom?
Yes, like I said, we didn't have any conversation. He just walked out and left, so I was ranting his wife there and startled him. That's not initially why I didn't call the police. I was trying to figure it out, and then I was looking at my house.
So when you tried to call him, did you have a conversation with him about why he was in your room?
He did not answer. No,
Do you recall whether or not you had called him more than once?
I don't remember.
Okay. But again, this is back in October, it's 4 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's other ongoing issues with him. Is it fair to say that,
Been a lot more. Yeah.
okay. But let's just straighten the record out one more time. You testified on direct exam that you did see Mr. Scruggs in your bedroom after returning home.
Absolutely.
Mr. Scruggs did not have permission to be in your bedroom or in your house at that time, correct?
Absolutely.
And when you were looking through everything after he left, you discovered that $20 was missing from your wallet. Is that correct? And that was your wallet, not Mr. Scruggs' wallet?
Correct.
And it was on your bed?
Yes.
And you have no other reason to believe anybody else but Mr. Scruggs would have left your home with that $20. Is that correct?
This wasn't the first time. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. No further questions, Your Honor.
I have another question. So you said after you saw him, you tried to call him?
Yes, I did.
He didn't answer?
No, I didn't.
Okay. But when you were questioned by Mr. Kuntz and he asked you about calls, you said that your phone was dead.
It was, I don't remember exactly what time I called Chase, but I know my phone was supposed to die because I did plug it in when getting back to my friend's house.
And then I asked you too he asked you about calls prior to or during that time frame, and you say you didn't recall, and I asked you too. So are you now having a greater recollection?
I didn't recall until he showed me the police report of me, letting the officer know that I did call him after to see why he was in my home.
Okay. Mr. Kuntz, any cross based on my question?
Just briefly, so Chase didn't answer any of your calls, that's right?
No.
Sorry, let me rephrase the question. Is it your testimony that Chance did not answer any of your calls?
I don't believe he did.
Right. And you didn't have any other communication with him in the early morning hours of the 27th?
No.
Not even driving by his mother's house?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't recall. I'm sorry. Like you said, it was a while ago. There's been a lot going on. But a lot.
Right. That's all. Thank you.
Question on the PA-53.
On the PA-53, Your Honor?
Correct.
So, yes, Your Honor. Do you recall calling the police on February 14th of this year?
Yes, I do.
All right, and what was the reason for that phone call?
She just had called me that day around about 1:34, 1:35 p.m. Made a phone call to me from the
Okay, so I think you started answering my next question. How do you know it was him? Oh, you're fine. That was a good answer. And you said it's from his number. How do you know it was his number?
It was, I don't have it saved, it was his, and when I clicked to go to the messages, and the messages previously that he had texted me asking if he should knock on my door and introduce himself to my friend.
So this was a number you recognized that belonging to Mr. Scruggs?
Absolutely.
And this is and because you had testified before that you have a child in common, you communicate regularly with Mr. Scruggs about your child?
Yes, but this is after the PPO was in place.
So on February 14th, there was a PPO and this matter was pending before the court, is that correct?
Yes, correct.
And is it your understanding that there is a no contact order against Mr. Scruggs precluding him from contacting you while this case is open?
Correct.
And so when that phone rang from that number, you recognized it as belonging to Mr. Scruggs, with whom you have a child in common, with whom prior to this matter and prior to the PPO, you've had regular contact with him regarding that?
Yeah.
And it was at that number?
Yes, I do not.
Did he leave a message?
No.
Did he call you or text you after that?
No.
And that was your report to the police with respect to?
Yes, aside from his mother texting my mom, I had let him know that also because he had asked me.
Okay, thank you. No further questions, John.
Ms. Schick, do you have your phone with you in court?
I do, and I can.
Okay, would that show that there's a missed call from Chase?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Did you provide proof of a missed call
Yes, I
The go-
submitted it to evidence to K. Brooks.
to evidence.com?
It was a link sent to me. I submitted the photos of his mother texting my mom like he asked, and then the phone call from him like he had asked me to.
Okay, you uploaded all of those.
Yes, and I still have it in my phone.
You uploaded, you said the text messages too?
Yes, I did. Yes, he asked me to send a screenshot of the phone number and then the messages to prove that it was him calling.
When did you do that?
It was the same day
So on the 14th?
that I had called, yes. He's found outside my house, that's why I had provided the photo.
Yeah. You said the officer stayed outside your house until you provided photos?
Yes, he sent me a link while sitting outside of my house
And
and
then,
said he was going to track his GPS further.
okay, and then was it your testimony that the officer waited until you uploaded photos before he left?
I mean, I would believe so. I was sitting on my couch watching him, and he sent me the link as I was sitting on the couch.
That obviously has not been turned over yet. Is that what's going
Well, Your Honor, so I received this report yesterday afternoon. I checked Axon under this police report number. There's nothing shared with me. It doesn't mean it's not there. It just means that their admin hasn't shared it with our office and been shared with me. But because I just received this report yesterday, I haven't had a chance to follow up and make sure that I was given all the whatever was uploaded to Axon. I'm sorry.
I did bring the police report with me.
I have the police report. That's fine.
on? Yeah, we have the police report. It's the evidence is what we need.
Yes, sir. And that prior to beginning today, that I want to share with the only thing I have for today with respect to this PA-53 is the witness's testimony.
Sounds good. And I move forward with her testimony today because she's already here and that avoids me having to resubpoena her back.
Oh, of course, yes. Just with respect to this evidence, I can follow up on that, and if the court prefer, I have no problem coming back with that evidence and sharing with it, to share with the court.
Sounds good. That evidence will already have been turned over to Mr. Kuntz before then. Any other questions for this witness today?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Okay, and this witness be excused.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, ma'am. You may be excused. Do you have another witness?
No further witnesses, Your Honor.
Okay. I'm inclined to adjourn now until the evidence on the PA-53
Yes, Your Honor.
is turned over. Reason being is I took testimony on both the underlying offense and the bond violation from one witness. And to be candid, I do have questions and concerns about the overall credibility of that testimony. So I think flushing out this next set of evidence might help answer some of the concerns. I don't know if there's just a lack of memory on some things, or if there's an intentional lack of memory on some important facts. If someone asks me if I called someone and told them I was going to kill them, my response is not going to be, I can't recall. And so, because there was so much back and forth on timelines and events and whether or not you called the police immediately when it happened or 3 hours later, and was your phone dead or not, that will make some gray areas for me. I would rather have some more evidence turned over to flesh that out. If we need to resubpoena her, we can do that. If we don't, then we'll just proceed to argument at the next date.
So, Your Honor, I was at, and I know this is not common, I planned on having my client testify and introducing exhibits.
You want to do that today?
Well, we're going to come back anyway, Your Honor, so I guess I'll defer to the court. If we're going to have to come back anyway, if the court wants to hear our proofs today.
We can take your proofs today.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Your Honor.
We can call your witness.
I call Chase Scruggs to the stand, please.
And I'm going to have your attorney voir dire you or question you about your right to remain silent, okay?
So, Chase, you understand you're accused of some crimes here?
Yeah.
All right. We've got 2 accusations in this file, 1 home invasion, 2 domestic violence. You understand that?
Yes.
You understand those are serious offenses?
Yeah.
All right. And then there's another case that has 2 other allegations against you. You understand that?
Yeah.
You understand that in relation to all of those allegations and anything you possibly could be charged with, you have an absolute right not to incriminate yourself?
Yeah.
All right. And that means you do not have to testify in this case. You understand that?
Yeah.
And if you don't testify, your silence can't be used against you. You understand that?
Yeah.
Now, fair to say we've talked about whether it was wise or not to testify today?
Yeah.
All right. And I've given you some advice on this.
Yeah.
Okay. And all that being said, is it your choice to testify today in your own defense at the preliminary examination?
Yeah.
Is the court satisfied with
Yes.
that waiver? Okay. So, Chase, I want to take you back to mid to late October 2024, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Specifically, on October 26th, 2024, did you break into Olivia Shook's house?
No.
October 27th, 2024, did you break into Olivia Shook's house?
No.
Okay. Now, did you have some contact with Olivia Shook in and around those dates?
Yes. A lot of repeated phone calls.
Let me stop you there. So you say yes, and a lot of repeated phone calls. Putting aside the phone calls for now, had you seen Olivia within a few days of October 26th to 27th?
Yes, we have regular visits every Monday and Thursday of our joint daughter, Zola Scruggs, at the mother's house.
And so Olivia's mother has guardianship of Zola, is that right?
Yes.
All right. And so you and Olivia had seen each other in that joint visitation on the Thursday before this alleged home invasion?
Yes.
Okay. And that would have been the 24th?
I believe so. I was looking at the calendar.
How do you recall that? I mean, was it a pleasant visit, unpleasant?
Very pleasant. I had brought my daughter, Alana Scruggs, with me. She usually came to visit, but she enjoyed seeing her younger sister.
They're half sisters?
Yes.
Technically?
But they're full sisters. I would reach that. But yes,
What goes through that?
everybody got along. Her mom was aware. Like I said, I've been to every visit that's been scheduled since the visit were instilled. Everybody, had normal conversations. Her mom had normal conversations. The kids played. It's usually from 5 to 7 p.m. A lot of scheduled time.
Shortly before that day, Thursday, October 24th, had you taken any action with a friend of the court?
We were kind of going through everything. A lot of me and her mom was, that she has the guardianship, trying to figure out how to get the necessary Medicaid, keep her in school, and things like that. I wasn't very privy to everything that was going on with her case, because there was a couple different charges and
So-
dates.
Right. So, and we're not going to get into it, but again, Olivia's dealing with some stuff down the street on Kalamazoo, and you're aware of that?
Vaguely.
Okay. And we don't want to talk too much about that, but you're going through Olivia's mom. Is that Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah Smith. All right. You're talking to Sarah Smith about taking care of Zola.
Yeah.
All right. And in the months before October of 2024, were you paying child support?
Yeah.
Okay. That was court ordered?
Yeah.
All right. And then did that change at some point?
Yeah.
When did that change? Do you know?
Around the time that these incidents happened, they had excused like the birth expenses and things like that, and we're now transferring over the accounts that I was paying that she was supposed to pay before.
Right. Now, you made mention of some phone calls. In the days after that October 24th, 2024 visit, did Olivia call you
Yes.
a couple times or more than that?
At one point, I had counted close to 900 calls within a 3-day period. It might be more. After just going through them, that was just kind of a quick count of what I had.
Did Olivia leave you any voicemails in that period of time? That you remember?
Yes, on October 25th.
So she left you a voicemail.
Yeah.
Right? And let me ask you this before we get into the evidence. Do you have Olivia saved as contact in your phone?
Yeah.
How do you have her saved?
Crazy.
That's the contact name.
Yes.
You understand that could be taken as in poor taste to label someone as crazy in your contacts.
Yes, but I felt it was appropriate.
Okay. Did you go through your phone to find any evidence of these calls?
Yeah.
All right. Have you provided that to me?
Yeah.
I don't understand. It looks like, I can't figure out what this is trying to say. It's
No.
that's a separate. But this is a call from 2 days before the interview. So, I think I understand that this is going toward credibility. I'm going to object to this evidence as being irrelevant to the home invasion. However, I'll defer to the court's ruling.
I don't even have a clue what the evidence is.
Yeah, I'm going to object to this evidence, but I'll allow.
What's the evidence?
Your Honor, if you recall, Ms. Shook testified she did not recall whether she left a voicemail threatening to kill my client on October 25th.
Sounds like
I plan on introducing evidence, both of the actual audio, but then also the little transcript that pops up in the voicemail application,
visual voicemail.
just to put a date and time on it.
But I think it's improper impeachment because the testimony was that she doesn't recall. She's not denying that these things happen. She's just saying that a lot has happened. She can't recall when something was done and when something hasn't. So I think this would.
Right, and to the extent, well, I don't know that because she can't said because her response was that she can't recall that this would make it improper testimony because you can still be lying about not recalling. And if the evidence is that there were 900 calls when she was asked if she made calls, she recalled. You didn't forget 900 calls. Like that's a lot of work.
Well, I mean,
And then if the question that struck me as concerning was whether or not she had called and left him a voicemail threatening to kill him, and her response wasn't no. It was I don't recall. Threatening to kill somebody, typically, I don't know. I would remember if I threatened to kill somebody. So unless there was something, and she wasn't questioned about whether or not there was something that's going on with her mentally or health-wise that would affect her memory, then I would believe that a reasonable person should be able to remember these answers or give an answer as to whether or not you threatened to kill somebody on a voicemail or not. So, for the purposes of laying the foundation for impeaching the credibility of the witness, I'll allow him to proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Chase, did Olivia leave you a voicemail on October 25th?
Yeah.
All right. And did you provide the audio of that to me?
Yeah.
All right. And have you had a chance to listen to it yourself?
Honestly, not until everything kind of started. I never really listened to the voicemail. So, yes.
But between, since this case began, you've reviewed.
Yeah.
You listened to the voicemail before providing it to me?
Yeah.
Is what you provided to me the same as what was on your phone?
Yeah.
You haven't altered it in any way?
No.
All right. Did you also take a screenshot of like the transcript of the voicemail? And you did that on your iPhone 16?
Yeah.
All right. And you sent that to me?
Yeah.
Did you alter it in any way before sending it to me?
No.
I move to admit defendants A and B on this flash drive. A being the transcript, B being the actual audio.
Okay, the objection was noted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
A and B is admitted.
Okay, so Chase, I'm showing you what's been admitted as defendant's exhibit A. This is the transcript that you sent me?
Yeah.
All right. What is the date and time?
Looks like October 25th, 2024, 2:40 p.m.
Right, so that would have been the day after you had the visit with Zola.
Correct.
Right.
Bitch, you really got me so fucked up. Like, you literally fucking gave me some shit. Again, like, I'm so fucking pissed off at you. And I know you fucking lying about being at work. Because, first off, there ain't even no fucking things today. I have her on my fucking phones, too. Nothing was available today. And you even fucking told me last night you didn't have to work. You said you only had shit to take care of. He was like, I don't have to work. I told you I just had shit to do. But obviously it wasn't shit to do because you ain't even been ignoring my call. You just fucking muted my shit and put me on silent. So obviously you fucking with some bitch and you're busy being fucking laid up. Like, you dumbass fucking hoe. You dumbass bitch. I swear to God, yo, I'm gonna fucking track you down and when I see you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like, you weird as fuck. You dick ass, fucking hippie ass, gay ass nigga.
Oye, ¿qué pasó? Blackout, blackout.
All right. That was Olivia's voice in that voicemail?
Yeah.
That was her? Okay. Do you recall Olivia contacting you hundreds of times between October 25th and 28th?
Yeah.
Does that include like the hours around midnight of the night of the 26th going into the 27th?
Yes, they were constant. At the same time. Not even minutes apart.
No, on the flash drive I have Appendix C, which is I'm moving to admit. Well, I can lay a better foundation, but moving to admit the screenshots of these phone calls from October 25th to October 28th. These have been provided to the people, I should say.
October 25th and October 26th. There's screenshots to show what again? Phone calls?
The missed calls.
Missed calls?
Yeah. Well, the calls missed.
Any objection?
I'll stand by my prior objection, Your Honor.
Okay, it's overruled. Defense, this would be C?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's admitted.
All right. You provide screenshots of these calls to me, is that right?
Yeah.
All right. And are the screenshots you provide me accurate depictions of what was in your phone?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but I want to start with this one. Can you make out the date? Do you see that, Chase?
October 25th, 2024.
All right. And do you see, there are several missed calls on there?
Yeah.
Right. Spanning from 5:33 p.m. to 8:42 p.m.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go to the next one. Also October 26th?
Yeah.
All right. Also, a lot of missed calls between 8:52 and 9:11 p.m.
Yeah.
And the next one, same date?
Yeah.
9:13 to 9:26 p.m.
Yeah.
Next one, same date?
Yeah.
9:30 to 9:36 p.m.
Yeah.
Next one, same date?
Yeah.
9:38 to 9:47. Same date? Two of them at 9:48?
Yeah.
Next one, same date?
Yeah.
Handful from 9:49 to 9:53?
Yeah.
Same date, 9:54 to 9:59?
Yeah.
Same date, 10 to 10:08?
Yeah.
Same date, 10:09 to 10:14?
Yeah.
Same date, 10:15 to 10:32?
Yeah.
Same date, 10:33 to 10:38?
Yeah.
Same date, 10:47 to 10:50?
Yeah.
Same date, two of them at 11:03?
Yeah.
Same date, three between 11:07 and 11:08?
Yeah.
Same date, three more?
Yeah.
Same date, quite a few more between 11:15 and 11:29?
Yeah.
Same date, 11:31 to 11:34?
Yeah.
Same date, 11:36 to 11:37?
Yeah.
Same date, 11:37, 11:41. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now these are not missed calls. Is that right?
Yeah.
Did you answer these two calls?
Yeah.
All right. And it looks like you talked for a very short period of time on one of them.
Yeah.
Right, 3 minutes on another.
Yeah.
Do you remember specifically what you guys talked about?
If I had to guess, I would ask her to stop calling me. Because the calls been going on all day. I was out getting the photos for our children, so I was trying to keep in contact with my mom and her mom, and I couldn't all the calls. Like I didn't even get a call out.
Okay. Fair enough. Did you, at that time, did you talk about being in her home unlawfully around that time?
No.
All right. Next one, we've got more. Still October 26th, a bunch of calls from 11:45 to 11:56.
Yeah.
And then looks like another answered call at 11:57.
Yeah.
And then now we're into October 27th, right?
Yeah.
Got three missed calls, 12:02 to 12:04.
Yeah.
Same day, 12:04 to 12:14.
Yeah.
All right. And you heard Ms. Shook testify that you broke into her home around 11:30, 11:40 midnight. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is it still your testimony that you did not break into her home?
Yeah.
Continuing with Exhibit C, next photo, we see another missed call at 12:04.
Yeah.
And I want to say, you testified that you have Olivia saved as crazy in your phone. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you see a phone number on some of these screenshots?
Yes.
What is that number?
517-605-8665.
Is that the number you have saved for Olivia?
Yes, after she got her new phone.
Okay. Next one, a few more at the 12:47, 12:48.
Yeah.
All right, and then the next one, we see a handful of answered calls throughout the night, 12:49, 1:13, 1:54, 2:18, 2:28, 2:29.
Yeah.
Again, do you remember specifically, do you remember what you were talking about? Don't guess, do you know?
No, I can't say for sure.
But you did talk to her on the morning of October 27th.
Yes, we do.
Next one, we can't see a date on this photo, can we?
I think that's a continuation of probably one of the other photos. Some of them have 50 to 100 calls in there, so I had to break it down each time. So
Keep going. Did these calls continue throughout the morning of October 27th?
yeah,
Was it about this constant pretty much all night?
yeah,
In the 3 o'clock hour?
yeah,
In the 4 o'clock hour?
yeah.
In the 5 o'clock hour?
I would guess so. I wasn't asleep.
Do you remember anything else unusual happening with Olivia in the early morning hours of October 27th?
She had continued calling, and I heard a horn outside of my bedroom window. from which I observed Miss Shook driving by my house, just laying on the horn, honking the horn, trying to get, I presume, my attention, for not answering her call.
You say you're home. Where is this?
123 Lansing, Michigan, 4911.
Right. Is that your home? Somebody else's?
It's my mom's home, who I've lived with since 2 years.
About what time was this? Do you know?
The date
That she drove, you said that.
October 27th.
Oh, okay. What time though? Do you know the time?
It was the early morning hours. I wanted to say it started maybe like 2, 3, 24. I made 2 911 calls during that time as well.
Did you also get any video evidence of this?
Yes.
Right. Of Ms. Shook driving past your mother's home?
Yes.
Did you provide that to me?
Yes.
Is what you provide to me, well, what did you provide to me in relation to Ms. Shook driving by your mother's home?
Video evidence that I took, one from the top of my bedroom window, one from outside.
Right. And did you also send me any screenshots in relation to this?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of the screenshots?
To show the date and time of the offense.
And this is in your Photos app on your iPhone?
Yes.
You did not materially alter any of those things before handing them over to me? I moved to admit defendants dependencies D1, D2, D3, and D4, which is.
Any objections?
Same objection, Your Honor.
Defense D is admitted over objection.
First, Chase, I want to open up. Right. I'm showing you D1. What are we looking at?
Miss Shook's car coming and passing my car that's parked on the street in front of my parents' home.
Is this a screenshot you took of one of the videos?
Yes.
All right. Do you see the date and time on there?
Here, no, but I know they were on October 27th.
It's probably 2 hours.
At 2:36 a.m.
On October 27th?
Yes.
All right. Then we're going to go to D2. Is this the video?
Yeah.
In that screenshot?
That's one.
Now, you were a little far away. Were you able to recognize that as Ms. Shook's car?
Yes, the black Ford Taurus. At the time, I believe she had no license plate as well.
And then you said there was another video you took from the street?
Yes, one a little bit closer.
All right. So looking at D3, is this a screenshot you took from that next video?
Yeah,
And when was that taken?
at 2:42.
On October 27th?
Yeah.
And actually, in that screenshot, no, it's a little blurry. Do you know who's in that car?
Miss Shook.
That was Ms. Shook driving by?
Yes.
That's a question. On this particular clip, are you outside?
Yes, I'm outside on my front lawn,
Okay.
so that way I could get a clear view of the car and Miss Shook.
Okay, so the first one, it looks like you were inside the house?
Yeah,
Or-
that's when I first, that was probably the second or third time that she came by. The first time, like I said, I didn't capture anything, but I had a feeling that she may come back, so I wanted to try to get it on video.
Talk about, or we talked a little bit about the custody issues going around the time of October, October of 2024, right?
Yeah.
All right. Did you ever receive a friend of the court recommendation in relation to that?
I do believe I did.
Does that look like what you would have received from friend of the court?
Yeah.
All right. And again, this is surrounding custody and child support of Zola.
Yeah.
Your Honor, I move to admit defendants F, which is again, custody, a front of the court recommendation from 30th Circuit.
An objection.
I don't see how this is relevant to the home invasion.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, Your Honor, I think the court can tell that my crux of the case is that Ms. Shook is not a credible complainant, and
I'm going to be frank. I don't think you need it.
I understand, Your Honor, but this just shows that what I plan on showing it is that this friend of the court recommendation was mailed out on October 24th, the same day of their visit, meaning the calls start the next day. Doesn't.
Okay. He can testify as to it. I don't even see it.
I would think you aren't.
Okay. Chase, did you receive a copy of the front of the court paperwork around the time of all these phone calls and the alleged home invasion incident?
Yeah.
All right. Do you, only if you have personal knowledge, do you know if Olivia also received a copy?
Yes, because she responded to it with a letter to the judge.
Okay. Is that something you learned after the fact?
Yes.
All right, Chase, that's all I've got for you right now. Just as a reminder, the prosecutor did ask you some questions now.
Yeah.
You have a child in common with Ms. Shook, right?
Yes.
And you do not have custody of that child, is that correct?
No, not full custody.
So you have partial custody?
Legal rights to her. Okay.
When was the last time you saw your daughter? Don't remember?
Actually, that last visit because after October 30th, we had another incident at my house. So Ms. Shook spitting on me. So I contacted her mother and we decided that we were not going to do it.
You say Ms. Shook spit on you.
Yes.
Was that in the same month of October?
Yes, October 30th.
October 30th? Do you remember an allegation against you stemming from October 2nd?
Yes.
There's some harassment between you and Ms. Shook, correct?
Yes.
You were sharing some pictures of Ms. Shook, correct? That was October 2nd.
Yes.
Who is Chase Hendricks?
That's my Facebook profile.
That's your Facebook profile?
Yeah.
Remember sending a message to Ms. Shook that you should have died in that car crash or during your surgery?
Yeah.
You sent that to Ms. Shook?
Yeah.
This is relevant.
This is relevant with respect to the defendant's credibility with respect to the allegations he's making that he didn't do anything. This is just the witness making it up. So this
is, you're saying, I don't think he testified he didn't do anything. I don't think there's a dispute as to whether or not they had a contentious relationship. He said he didn't break into her house. How is this relevant to home invasion first and a domestic violence?
this is it's going against the defendant's credibility with his claim. It seems pretty clear that the defense in this case is that the witness here is making up these allegations because she's got something against this defendant.
Well, it's not just an allegation. They've just put on the record countless exhibits that showed a timeline of phone calls. So unless you're telling me that this was something that took place during that time or somehow connects to this case, it's not relevant.
Well, this is all in the month of October. This also goes to
when in October.
The defendant just testified that this happened around October 2nd. So this has been 25
not relevant.
days.
Move on.
The phone call that was placed that you played here, correct? You remember testifying that was her leaving a voicemail?
Yeah.
That was because you had given her an STD, correct?
No.
You had given her some sort of HPV and she was pissed off and calling you about it?
No, sir. I've actually gotten tested multiple times since then on my test came back clear.
Okay.
want to say my most recent was probably November 5th, actually. Of course, really don't say.
Okay, you don't need to keep going into your protected health information.
So there was some testimony where the defendant says that she doesn't recall whether or not you had sent a message threatening her life, but do you recall sending her a message that says, "And fair warning, don't try to be funny, and you got a girlfriend, or so you got a GM or GF, BM, Lil, yeah, or whatever," because it's a lot of whatever that is. Y'all wouldn't guess been down through there, or you seen my name in they phone, so keep it P, laughing face. I don't miss my shots too often. Don't make me get to shooting again. That Ben's parked in a neighborhood near you type shit. You remember sending that to her?
That wasn't sent to her, that was posted on my Facebook story.
That was posted on your Facebook story?
Yeah.
Was that intended for her?
No,
When was that posted?
When was that posted?
can't recall off the top of my head. Actually, when I posted it.
Was it before October 27th?
Yeah,
Was it around October 27th?
no,
If it's not related to this incident, I don't want to go through the history of their back and forth relationship.
Your Honor, it also goes to the defendant's mental state when it comes to why he would want to enter the home on October 27th. This is an ongoing issue where he's harassing the witness. The witness
He's
also,
harassing Mr. Nagle. I just had 900 phone calls.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me stop you. I'm not going to sit here and let you try to go back in time till early October, September, and try to create something that shows, or if you want to read or to cross-examine him, you're gonna have to talk about the incident or something tangentially close to the incident. This is 900 calls that just came in around the same time. Not the same time, at the same time that your witness testified that he was in her house. The same time that she said he was in her house, I just saw evidence that she was blowing his phone up.
I saw the evidence too, Your Honor, but I believe the phone calls came in around 2:45, 3 o'clock.
No. I saw. We started at on October 26th. We went through the whole entire day. Back to back, minute on the minute, the same exact time that she claims he was in her house. She also claimed that her phone was dead. She also said she didn't remember if she called him. She also said that she was out with friends during the time that she's blowing his phone call up. And then I saw evidence, by way of video evidence, of where she's driving by the house, laying on the horn obnoxiously. And shortly thereafter, there's a phone call to the police.
The point here, Your Honor, is that this is an ongoing thing between the two of them. They're both.
I don't dispute that there's an ongoing thing between the two of them. What happened in their relationship that caused the demise of the relationship really is not relevant to whether or not he committed a home invasion. The only reason why those phone calls and things were relevant is because they dispute the timeline that she's giving. I do not believe that they had a relationship that was full of pleasantries and that he probably didn't say some things that was egregious. I don't care if he gave her STD or not. That doesn't mean that you get to accuse him of something that's not true. So unless you're going to show us where it was true by your cross-examination, showing me that he made a post October 2nd has nothing to do with what happened on the 27th.
It leads up to that.
No, it does not lead up to that. It has nothing to do with it. Unless his post was, I'm breaking into your house on the 27th without your permission.
The people who arrest here, Your Honor, will come back about the PA-53.
I'm not moving forward with the PA-53 because I just have, there's zero credibility of your witness. Zero.
Understood, Your Honor. That's fine.
So you can try to restore your witness. I think she's still here, but that's up to you.
The people will arrest you.
Thank you. You can be removed from the stand, sir.
Just so there's a clean record, no redirect, Your Honor.
Thank you. Do you intend to give any argument?
Yes, Your Honor. Nothing offered by the defense vitiates whether or not the defendant was present in the home on October 27th. there's a long history between this defendant and the witness, going back a long time, where the both of them are harassing each other. I do understand that there's some credibility issues with the witness. There is some misunderstanding not misunderstanding, but there is some inconsistencies with the timeline. But given the history between the two, I believe that question of credibility between the defendant and the victim should be better left to the jury.
The credibility of the victim is up to the judge today.
It is, yes. I understand. What I'm saying is, because there's an issue of credibility, according to the people's position, is that there's a question of credibility between the defendant and the victim. The people's position is that would be a question best left to the jury.
That's not consistent with the law. The law says the court is the sole determiner of credibility of the witness at the exam. Not that credibility issue should be fleshed out by a jury. Sole determiner is the judge, and that's today.
I understand.
Any further argument?
The people are ready.
Ever so briefly, Your Honor. People versus Anderson, 501 Mich 175. Says exactly what Your Honor is saying, that you are the trier of fact today. You make the determinations on credibility. I think we've got a pretty clean record about why Ms. Shook is not credible and why there's not even probable cause to believe that Jay Scruggs committed home invasion or domestic violence. For asking for dismissal. Thank you.
Thank you. Today was the date for the preliminary examination. The burden was on the prosecution to establish that they had sufficient probable cause that the allegations of the felony, because we're not addressing the domestic violence, or at least we don't need to, although the domestic violence is going to be dismissed on the statements made by the witness anyways, that there was more likely than not a felony that was committed, and that you were the person who committed the felony. So this is not an imaginary burden here. It's got to be more than mere suspicion, and it's based on the evidence that's presented today by way of testimony or other evidence. The court is the sole determiner of credibility at a preliminary examination. The burden is flexible, and the court also is in the position of measuring the likelihood that the evidence will raise reasonable doubt at the time of trial. That's part of my job today. Not to just hear things and then decide that there's issues, but let it be flushed out at a jury. I've heard testimony today. We could go over the elements of home invasion, but the concern that the court has that is disturbing to me is that the evidence that was presented, it's very uncommon for a defendant to take this stand at a preliminary examination, period. The fact that the defendant took the stand and all this information or evidence that was supposedly turned over to the prosecution was not used to flush out the likelihood of the people's ability to sustain their burden, and that nothing was done in the interest of justice considering that information. There's no one, I don't think you need to have a law background to look at this evidence and see the glaring issues here in this case based on the timeline that's presented. I had testimony of one witness today, that being Olivia Shook, testified that she had been in a dating relationship with the defendant, Mr. Scruggs, and that on the date and time in question, that being on or about the 26th or the 27th of October 2024, that he entered her home without permission. There's also, based on the complaint, a domestic violence charge, and that's because she reported, or at least when the question asked her about, the court questioned her about reporting, that he assaulted her, or that he shoved her, because that was the information in the affidavit of probable cause leading to the court granting the charge. She stated that she may have reported that, but that she doesn't believe that if he shoved her, that it was intentional, or that he brushed up against her, that was intentional. The testimony that she gave today on direct was that she returned home after being out, and she wasn't clear on the timeline, that she was surprised to see Mr. Scruggs in her home, that he stared at her or she stared at him, and then he walked out. And that the police were called, lit footprints in something to the effect of her child's slide was pushed up to the door or the window, and potentially how he gained access. And then that $20 was later found to be missing. It got very strange for me when the timeline got so conscrewed about what time the incident occurred and what time she called the police. It later was determined on cross-examination that she actually called the police at about 2:52 in the morning, which was contrary to the testimony she gave in her direct examination. The other thing that was concerning was that she alleged that the breaking and entering or the home invasion, I should say, took place at approximately 11:30 to 12 o'clock. If someone broke and entered in my home and assaulted me, I'm not waiting almost 4 hours to call the police. And she claims that, well, maybe her phone was dead, and that's why she waited to call the police. Then she testified that when asked if she had made phone calls to the defendant during this time or prior to this time, she said she did not recall. Then when asked when her questions or responses about whether or not she and the defendant had been arguing or feuding during the days prior to, she wasn't clear then either. She can't recall much of anything. Specifically asked if she left a message voicemail for the defendant threatening to kill him. I can't recall. There was no testimony or evidence otherwise presented that would establish that she has a capacity or an issue in her brain that affects her memory or recollection of this incident. And I recognize it took place October 2027, but if I threatened to kill somebody or I called someone after they broke into my home and asked them why, I think I might remember some of those facts. But what's glaring is that the evidence that was submitted during the direct examination of the defendant demonstrates over 900 phone calls based on his testimony from the alleged victim to the defendant, starting, I don't know if it started the day prior, but the days that he presented in the video shows me at least all day the 26th, he's getting nonstop phone calls from the victim or the alleged victim. And I'm talking about every minute there's a missed call. There's no possible way under the sun you don't recall if you called him. When you called that, do you know how much effort it takes to call someone that many times? You didn't forget. You intentionally lied to the court. On top of that, that timeline was provided to the prosecution, and the prosecution could have looked at the timeline and said there's no possible way that he was in her house, or no reasonable person to believe that he's in her house at midnight or between the hours of 11 and midnight, because she's blowing his phone up the entire time during that time frame. Doesn't make any sense. And then she alleges she gets home, she had just gotten home from being with her friends, and then her phone was dead. But that's not the truth, because your phone wasn't dead because you blew it up. You blew up his phone using your phone. And then I see evidence where you're driving past the house that he's living in the middle of the night. The timestamp tells me 2:36. Multiple times you're driving by, glaring on the horn. There's a voicemail on or around that same time frame where she's upset about something. She believes that he's laid up with someone else. It's evident based on this that there's still some kind of relationship that was going on at that time. If she believes, based on the questions that was asked on the cross-examination of the defendant, that he provided or gave her an STD, they're obviously must have been still engaging in some kind of intercourse at the time. Nonetheless, she, during the date of the 26th or 27th, believed that he was lying about being at work. He's not answering her phone calls, and she believed he was with someone else, and that's why she's blowing his phone up. And she's going by his house at 2:30, 2:37, 2:40, up to 18 minutes before she allegedly called the police. She's engaging him by way of phone calls, repeated phone calls, and driving past the house, which is noted on video. I should also note that I revoked his bond based on an allegation that she made that he was driving past her house and that she has a video camera. I didn't see any video today that showed me that he broke into her house. But she obviously had video when it came time to get him arrested based on the allegation that the people can now not sustain. The people can't sustain any of this because it's contrary to the evidence that was turned over to them by the defense, and the people had a responsibility to dismiss this case and not waste the court's time. The timeline was clear. Multiple phone calls. There's zero question about her credibility. She lied to the court. She has maliciously prosecuted this person based on this lie. And I hope he takes recourse based on that. The case is dismissed.
Your Honor, the defendant is still on bond for a case set for trial in this court on April 14th against the same victim.
I can imagine. We all should discuss that off the record because I'm sure it'll come up about credibility issues.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my God.
You have got to be kidding me. What is going on today? This is a joke. This is a joke. Today is an absolute joke. He needs an interpreter.
I need an interpreter when I cannot express myself sometimes.
Joke. Oh my God, sir. Put that cigarette out. I don't give a crap that you are outside of this. What is wrong with everybody today? You know what, Miss Reed? We're going to start bringing people in person. People are going to learn how to act in a courtroom.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Ma'am? Ma'am? Can you hear it?
No.
Okay.
I have no patience for that. But trust me, out of the day, I'm sitting up here, I'm the one that needs a drink.